While the entire world is watching Iran, a second war just escalated. A nuclear-armed nation launched airstrikes on a neighboring country. Drones targeted a capital city. 75 civilians are dead. 115,000 people have been forced from their homes, and almost nobody is talking about it. This is Pakistan versus Afghanistan, and it is getting worse by the hour. To understand this conflict, we need to go back to late February 2026. Pakistan launched military operations inside Afghanistan, targeting what it described as fighters from the Pakistan Taliban, also known as the TTP, sheltering on Afghan soil. Islamabad also accused Kabul of harboring fighters from ISIS-Khorasan, the Afghan affiliate of the Islamic State. The Taliban government denied both accusations. Pakistan has been running out of patience. TTP attacks inside Pakistan have been increasing for years. Islamabad has repeatedly demanded that Kabul act against these groups, and Kabul has repeatedly refused to acknowledge their presence. On February 26th, the military operations escalated sharply. 2 days later, the US and Israel launched strikes on Iran. The world looked east. Pakistan and Afghanistan kept fighting. On Thursday night into Friday, Pakistani aircraft struck targets in Kabul and eastern border provinces. 4 people were killed in Kabul, women and children among them. In the Pulicharki neighborhood, a resident described being buried under the rubble of his own home. He said he lay there believing it was his last breath before his neighbors pulled him free. A local representative told journalists that those killed were ordinary people, poor people, with no involvement in the conflict whatsoever. Pakistani jets also struck a fuel depot near Kandahar airport. An airport official stated there were no military installations at the site. The depot supplied aid organizations, including the United Nations and the International Committee of the Red Cross. Aid delivery to one of the world's most desperate populations is now at risk. Afghanistan's response came fast. Taliban forces launched drone attacks on civilian areas and military installations across Pakistan. The drones were described as locally produced and rudimentary, but rudimentary does not mean harmless. Falling debris from intercepted drones wounded 2 children in Quetta. Civilians were also injured in Kohat and Rawalpindi. Islamabad's airspace was temporarily closed when the drones were detected approaching the capital. Think about that for a moment. Drones were flying toward the capital city of a nuclear-armed nation of 240 million people. Pakistan's President Asif Ali Zardari responded publicly, condemning the attacks and warning that Kabul had crossed a red line by attempting to target Pakistani civilians. The same day, Pakistan struck back, hitting a military facility in Kandahar, the Taliban's spiritual heartland. Islamabad stated the facility had been used both to launch the drone attacks and as a base for cross-border militant activity. Afghanistan's Ministry of Defense claimed its forces had captured a Pakistani border post and killed 14 Pakistani soldiers. Islamabad dismissed this entirely. Both sides are now trading strikes. Both sides are disputing each other's casualty figures, and civilians on both sides are paying the price. The United Nations mission in Afghanistan has confirmed that since hostilities intensified on February 26th, at least 75 civilians have been killed and 193 have been injured. 24 of the dead are children. The UN Refugee Agency reports that approximately 115,000 people have been displaced from their homes, in a country that was already one of the worst humanitarian crises on Earth before this conflict began. The fuel depot strike near Kandahar is particularly concerning. Aid organizations depend on fuel to move supplies, operate generators, and reach remote communities. Striking a depot that supplies the UN and the Red Cross, whatever the military justification, has immediate humanitarian consequences. Afghanistan has been at war for over 4 decades. Its people have known almost nothing but conflict. Pakistan's motivations deserve serious examination. The TTP has carried out hundreds of attacks inside Pakistan over the past several years. Pakistan has engaged in diplomatic negotiations with the Taliban government. Those negotiations have repeatedly broken down. From Pakistan's perspective, this is a counterterrorism operation against groups killing its citizens with impunity. From Afghanistan's perspective, Pakistan is bombing a sovereign country and killing civilians. Both perspectives contain truth, and neither resolves the fundamental problem. Here is the part of this story that should make every serious analyst uncomfortable. Pakistan is a nuclear power. It possesses an estimated 170 nuclear warheads. Afghanistan is not a nuclear power. There is no scenario in which this specific conflict escalates to nuclear use. But a Pakistan that is militarily overextended, fighting in Afghanistan, managing tensions with India under severe economic pressure, is a less stable Pakistan. One line in the reporting deserves much more attention than it has received. This crisis is unfolding as the wider region remains engulfed by the US-Israeli war with Iran, which began just 2 days after the Pakistan-Afghanistan clashes escalated. 2 days. The Iran war has consumed the diplomatic bandwidth of every major power. Nobody has the capacity to seriously engage with a Pakistan-Afghanistan war right now. That absence of international attention creates space for escalation that would otherwise not exist. Han China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi called for dialogue. His appeal came while Pakistani jets were already in the air. That is not diplomacy. That is a press release. Here is where we stand today. Pakistan has struck Afghanistan's capital, eastern provinces, and a military base in Kandahar. Afghanistan has launched drone attacks on Pakistani cities. 75 civilians are dead. 115,000 people are displaced. Children are being pulled from rubble. And the world is not watching. This is what happens when multiple crises erupt simultaneously. Attention is finite. Diplomatic resources are finite. The Iran war did not cause the Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict, but it may be allowing it to escalate further and faster than it otherwise would. A nuclear-armed state is at war with its neighbor. The humanitarian situation is catastrophic, and the international community is looking the other way. I'm your name. This has been Channel Name. If you found this analysis useful, subscribe and leave a comment below. Do you think the international community is making a mistake by ignoring this conflict while focusing on Iran? And what should Pakistan do differently? Tell me below. I'll see you in the next one.